It was a bit of an unusual gift. I had actually never seen it before, but it appeared it could be educational and promote awareness of recycling our waste. It was named the Mold Farm. The premise was simple: learn how decaying waste could create and promote basic life forms. Simply add your table scraps into the aquarium chamber and watch what develops. From mold and fungus, to maggots and flies. But wait! Other life forms were developing that were unrecognizable. So this is how it all began. 8-year-old Jason received this odd birthday gift from his fun-loving grandmother. With the excitement of receiving the gift, Jason couldn't wait for dinner so he could throw his first scraps into the chamber. In fact, he purposely didn't finish his meal so there would be extra scraps to add in. Of course, Mom and Dad added theirs in too, as any good parent would do. There was also a strange liquid accelerator that would speed up the decomposing process. It was a 2-part mixture that was poured over the table scraps. It had a funny odor that Jason said smelled like stale farts. The kit even came with a night light that would further promote growth during the night. Jason placed the chamber on the table by his bed so he could keep a close eye on any developing life forms. The next morning Jason added a few breakfast scraps which included some Honey Nut Cheerios and a banana skin. More fuel for the fire and more daily scraps followed. In a few days, there was a green mold covering all the scraps. New life forms had begun. The wonder of nature. Decomposition is a complex process. Organic matter is broken down into carbon dioxide and nitrogen nutrients. Where the excitement begins is that it is also converted into fungi and bacteria through these organisms, feeding on the organic material and reproducing. Yes, reproducing. There's nothing like sexually active fungi. Other decomposers include snails, slugs, worms, mites and insects. In only 4 days, maggots were busy eating the scraps. These were not your usual, standard fly maggots, but something different. And the next day there were even more strange maggots, feeding on the scraps. There were so many different maggots appearing. Jason began to name them. First, there were the white willies. And next, there were the blue bonkers, very creepy. And then, there were the speckled gooners. A few days later, the blackheads appeared, with orange speckled bodies. And then, the bug-eyed mites, very odd-looking creatures. As the maggots metamorphosized into flies, a few flies appeared in the chamber, which excited Jason's interest in the farm. These flies were no ordinary flies. Jason called them gorilla flies, because they looked fierce and very strong. These flies matured quickly, and they looked like no ordinary fly. Other odd life forms began to emerge too. Jason wondered if perhaps that accelerant was the reason some very odd life forms were developing. As more life forms appeared, they were quickly eaten by the flies. The flies continued to grow and grow. It was now impossible to open the chamber without the flies escaping. And then one day, a few escaped. On that day, Jason's good friend Rocco came over to play. The escaped flies were starting to swarm and attack Jason and Rocco, biting them both. Rocco was terrified. He had never seen such huge, ugly flies. Instantly, after being bitten on his head, Jason began a transformation that was beyond belief. Fly-like features began to appear on his head and face. Rocco looked on in horror, as Jason was metamorphosing into a fly. And then, Rocco too, started to transform. Jason's parents were horrified at the sight of both Jason and Rocco. The moral of this story is simple: don't ever buy this product.